Welcome. Scott here. Today I am bringing you another video on Black Clover Mobile. In this video guide, I will give a quick run on how to start your account so that you can gather sufficient resources for festival mages. As there are a lot of content to cover, I will be splitting the guide into a series of video. My general strategy to get festival mages is that I would recommend you to get a pity before you do your pulls. A pity will at least guarantee you the festival mage. In Black Clover Mobile, you need 200 summon tickets or 24,000 black crystals for a pity. You can get black crystals via your daily login quest, clearing permanent content, completing event missions and burning time. Some of the mini games like Speed also give you 120 black crystals. To be honest, the rates for festival mages are ridiculously low and a lot of players got shafted. So having a pity provides a safety net. The second reason why I recommend a pity is that most festival mages need max investment to function that they intend to be. For all of them, you will want them to be at max enhancements. To date, here are the available festival mages that you can get in the game. They are Julius, Black Asta, Mirioliana Spirit Dive Valkyrie Armor Noel and the soon-to-be released Black Divider Asta. I will briefly go through what their enhancement passive brings. With his LR enhancements at level 2 or LR plus 2, Julius will get resurrection back with 40% HP upon getting KO'd. At LR plus 5, he will resurrect back to the battlefield with 100% HP. With his LR plus 2, Black Asta get his taunt triggers once you activated anti-magic. At LR plus 5, he will grant the party status ailment immunity for a turn and taunt once he activates his anti-magic. With her LR plus 2, Mirioliana will taunt the highest all-attack unit at the start of the wave. At LR plus 5, she will gain access to her AoE burn counters when she is being attacked. With his LR plus 2, Yuno will gain invulnerability when he gains Spirit Dive buff once he uses his special. At LR plus 5, his Blessing of Wind Spirit damage will be increasing damage by 20% per stack. He can gain up to 5 stacks. With her LR plus 2, in a team comp where she is the sole defender, Valkyrie Noel will remove any active taunt on her. With her LR plus 5, in a team comp where she is the sole defender, she will gain 30% increased mobility and increased speed level 1 at the start of the wave. This passive will guarantee Valkyrie Noel will be the first to act unless you are facing a Valkyrie Noel with higher speed stats. We will be having this festival unit joining the fray soon, Black Divider Asta. With his LR plus 2, he will gain increased damage dealt buff based on the maximum HP left. The buff maxed potencies is 200%. With his LR plus 5, he will gain immortality once his HP drop to below 30%. From the general passives, you can see the benefits of what these passives give the mages and potential advantage if you have them. Other than their enhancements, they also need their skill page. Julius will gain an increased attack buff and his skill 2 will gain the mobility depletion which totally drains the target's mobility gauge. His increased attack buff will increase depends on the level of enhancements if you have on his skill page. Black Asta anti-magic will power up more depending on the level of enhancements you have on his skill page. This will activate once he enters into anti-magic state. His skill 2 will grant total defense for the party. Mirioliana will do more damage with more enhancements on her skill page if you have active mana skin. Her skill 2 will grant the party mana skin. Spirit Dive will grant him 1 SP when attacking while Spirit Dive is active. Upgrading the skill page improves the probability. At max enhancements, it is a guaranteed trigger and he will gains 3 SP upon fulfilling the conditions. Valkyrie Noel will grant a random taunt to 2 targets when she attacks. Her skill 2 will be enhanced to grant the party absolute territory buff. Black Divider Asta will gain a 50% chance of gaining extra turn while Desperate buff is active. He will activate Desperate once his HP drop to 40%. He will also gain 30% increased damage dealt. At max enhancements, the activation of the extra turn is guaranteed. His skill 2 will also allow him to set his HP to 40% if he has no Desperate buff active, which is the condition to activate Desperate. Unfortunately, if you don't have their skill page, all of them will be operating at 1/5 of their original capability. Thus it is highly recommended that you don't miss the skill page if you are chasing for festival mages. Thus having a 24,000 black crystals for a pity is like an insurance policy when pulling for a festival mage. If you are lucky, you may get multiple copies of the unit and their skill page. However, if you are extremely unlucky, you can end up getting on the unit on the last pull. Personally, I will save up to 48,000 black crystals before I consider pulling for a festival mage. So how on earth do I have that much resources? The answer is either support the game and buy summon packs or black crystals bundles. If you are playing as a free-to-play, you should skip most of the game's banners so you can go one big time for a festival mage. Since launch, my F2P has gone 10 pity pulls for 10 banners. Yes. I personally have a rule. If I cannot pity, I won't pull on the unit. So you will probably ask which mage I can skip? The answer is that it really depends on your account roster. The reason why we pull for multiple festival mages is for expansion of available options to clear endgame content, as no mages can tackle any content. There are certain situations where a certain mage fits better. Don't play the game like Pokemon if you are a free-to-play player. You won't have enough resources to get all of them. So you have picked to the ones that most benefit your account and roster. Do your research first before you decide to pull. To understand how a mage works, I suggest you check out the Pridewin website, my channel's Mage build guide, or any Black Clover mobile content creators videos. I have started this project 8 days ago. This is the progress that I have made on the start of my 7th day. For this F2P account, I did not do any paid pulls and save up all the tickets and black crystals that I can get on clearing the game's PvE content. My key roster of mages is Lotus, Charlotte, SR Asta, and SR Mimosa. You can get all of them for free. The only exception is Lotus, as you need to go through the selective summon. I will cover more on that when I talked about their kits. You can get SR Asta along with SR Uno for free when you start the game. Once you unlock the summon menu, you will entitled to a free summon where you will guaranteed to get Charlotte. You will also get 10 summon tickets. Once you have cleared Chapter 1 Episode 5, you will be able to claim a chest contain SR Mimosa and 20 summon tickets. After completing Episode 7 of Chapter 1, you will gain access to free selective summon where you can reroll for 20 summons and pick the summon that you desired. My recommendation is to use that banner to get Lotus. Other than the key mages, I have gotten Despair Veto from one of my daily free pull. Hopefully, in future I don't face any despair when doing my pulls. I have completed the Gateway of Reunion missions to get Secret Agent Vanessa. I picked Vanessa because she is pretty and you need to use her for story content. You can see what I have on my roster in the screen. All mages don't have their skill page except for SR Mimosa, which I again got lucky from one of the free ticket pulls that I received upon completing the recent gifting event.
I've got 3 daughters, you know. good. You're not off the hook yet. I've got 3 daughters, you know. You're here!
If you want to consider reroll your account, this is a good opportunity window with a strong festival mage who is expected to come at the end of the month. Do consider reroll only if your account don't have festival mages. Upon doing the reroll, it also means you will miss past seasonal units like Ceremony Charlotte and have to wait for future banners rerun to get them. On the screen, you can see the roadmap that you need to undertake. In short, the key steps are: 1. Getting Charlotte from free summon to unlock the summon option. 2. Go to your mailbox and claim the first 10 free tickets. If you are doing the reroll, target to get the festival mage and skill page. On the screen, I am using black Divider Asta as a placeholder. If you don't get the skill page or the unit, go restart and reroll the game until you got both of them. For my newbie account, I have skipped this step since I didn't pull for any mage for the account. 3. Upon clearing chapter episode 5, you will be able to claim a chest where you can get SR Mimosa along with 20 summon tickets. You can use those tickets to chase for the festival mage if the first 10 tickets failed. But you really need to reroll if all 30 tickets don't get you the mage and their skill page. Do take note that by going to this stage, you will probably take a longer time per reroll attempt. 4. Upon clearing chapter 1 episode 7, you will go through the selective summon, target to get Lotus from the selective banner summon. 5. Build your resources by clearing PvE content, story chapters, bond patrols, citizen request, Hall of Illusions, etc. to earn the stash to fund your pulls for more festival mage dupes. My recommendation is not go over the pity per banner since you still need to save some resources for future banners. If you need more details on how to reroll, I suggest you to check out my reroll guide, where you can find the video link in the pinned comment. With the overview of the reroll roadmap done, let me discuss on the crew. To be honest, SR Asta is actually a good unit if you know how to use him and play to his strengths. His skill 1 is a single target attack that will cleanse any debuffs from him. His skill 2 is an AoE attack that has a 30% chance of buff removal and 30% chance of inflicting stun if the target has incapacitate debuff active. If you have his skill page, the ability will grant him an increased defense level 2 buff. You can get his skill page by collecting all 9 memory shards in World 1. His special is another AoE attack which will get Asta to enter into a defense stance which will have any damage received while having a 40% chance of inflicting taunt. If you pair him with SR Uno, they will unleash a more powerful united attack. The reason why I have picked Lotus as the mage from selection banner is because he can inflict incapacitate on his special. This allows you to have a small chance of inflicting stun. Sometimes, a stun could determine whether you win or lose a fight. Asta is also a nice budget defender mage where you can use for unlocking the gear dungeons, bond patrol, and clearing mid-game PvE content. Asta having a Dispel utility on his skill 2 also helps for Surpass Your Limits missions where Dispel is important to remove the damage reduction buff that Living Armor boss puts. You will be able to claim the pre-registration reward upon clearing Chapter 1 Episode 5 when Asta joins the Black Bull squad. Use that chest and claim your Mimosa. Personally, I will focus on building Mimosa first over Asta as healers are rarity in the game. If you do get SR Charmy while doing your daily pull or from the selective summon, you can prioritize building her over SR Mimosa. So why I recommend you to prioritize on getting a healer. There isn't any SSR healers that you can get on demand, thus SR healers are your next best alternatives. Healers will help to upkeep your party HP, which will improve your chances in clearing any stages. Both of their healing scales off their magic attack. When starting the game, you can equip full basic magic attack set when you get her to SSR. Once you get her to LR, you can start to load 4 large magic attack and 3 small magic attack pieces. Focus on getting the advanced gear set pieces. You can identify whether the gear is an advanced gear piece is that you will see a star symbol on the gear icon. If you want to know about what type of gears that you should use for which mages, I suggest you check out my gear sets video. On the sample, I have used Advanced Speed or Secret of Deep Sea, Advanced Defense, or Great Merchant set along with Basic Attack set. For skill page, you can use our grade Seed of Life. Replace it with her skill page once you get that. Now I will be covering on the first SSR Mage that you will get when playing the game, Charlotte. Let me give a quick overview on her skills. Her skill 1 is a single target attack. She will gains increased attack buff if the target inflicted with mark. Her skill 2 is an AoE attack that inflicts reduced defense debuff and a 50% chance of inflicting mark. Her special is another AoE attack that inflicts attack reduction and bleed debuff on all targets. Her combo is a single target attack that inflicts the game's strongest incapacitate debuff, but that debuff will last for a turn. So, her kit feels generic and underwhelming? On the surface, it does, but a lot of new players underestimate her value. She is the only unit that offers the mark debuff. The mark debuff will allows any mage to gain an extra turn if they defeat the target that has the mark debuff is active. If you kill 2 targets, you get 2 extra turns. If you kill 3 targets, you get 3 extra turns. The debuff is important since it allows you abuse your powerful assisting mage, which help to carry your account in the early stages in the game. The issue with her ability is the probability of you getting mark activated on the target. My recommendation is that upgrading the skill should be your priority to get to level 4. At level 4, you will guaranteed the trigger of mark. I have upgraded the skill to level 2 from chapter 1 to 6. From chapter 7 and onwards, I have accumulated enough will shards and I have invested it to get to level 4. The investment will pay off when you are doing wanted missions where you need to kill as many enemies within a limited set of turns. It is impossible to do without using mark for hard mode. Her incapacitate debuff is one of the game's best debuffs for nuking setup against single target bosses. Her mark debuff can also help your powerful DPS to wipe the field if they can kill minions easily. For gear set, you can get the advanced speed set along with small attack and defense piece from the advanced defense set. You can see if you don't have all the ideal piece, the lower grade piece also works. The importance on using sets is for their gear synergy. Speed is important for debuffers so that Charlotte can apply her debuffs before your damage dealers take their turns. Once you have unlocked talents, don't hesitate to unlock Mage Blessing support talent passive for her so you can have a decent chance to use her skill 2 every turn. I have seen a lot of different recommendations on who to pick for the selection summon. In my opinion, Lotus is still undoubtedly the game's best starter mage. Personally, I feel that he is a mage that every BCM account needs to have. He is irreplaceable and helps a lot in aiding your roster to clear the early game content. He offers some utility that is not even fulfilled by other mages since the release of the game. He is probably one of the mages that don't have a closest replacement. Even in current time in JP and KR, he is still used by a lot of players for both PvE and PvP. Let me give you a quick overview on his kit. His skill 1 is an AoE attack with a 50% chance of inflicting 15% reduced mobility. Upgrading the skill to max will improve the chances to 55%. His skill 2 is a single target attack, extend any active debuffs on the target by a turn and inflict reduced damage resistance. If you have his skill page, the ability will inflict the concentrated attack debuff, which will guarantee the attack that you hit will be a critical hit. His special is another AoE attack which inflicts incapacitate on all targets. It has 50% chance of removing all buffs and 50% chance of inflicting reduced speed. Upgrading the skill to max will improve the probability of all buff removal to 60%. His combo attack is another AoE attack that has a 60% chance of inflict 20% reduced mobility. Before I continue to elaborate on his usefulness, let me briefly explain the difference between speed and mobility. Speed will affect the turn order of your mages. Generally you will want your supporters and debuffers to move before your attackers so that they can buff your attackers or inflict debuffs on the enemies. Mobility is being represented by a yellow gauge that is below every unit's health bar. If your mage reaches their turn, the mobility gauge must be full before they could act. They won't act until their mobility gauge is full. Because of this mechanic, you can cheese fights with Lotus by giving enemies no turns and attacking them till they are dead. Of course, this is provided you have the right setup and the enemy isn't immune to reduced mobility. Lotus forms a deadly duo with his partner Mars, and together with Julius, they form the infamous mobility drain trio that can allows you delay enemies infinitely. The lesser turns of enemies get, means your party will get more turns to kill them and also facing a lower risk of getting attacked. Your healers can also do emergency healing, which could potentially save your run. Other than speed down and mobility drain, Lotus also offers a lot of useful utility like incapacitate debuff to boost your mage's damage, extend all debuffs duration with his skill 2 on the designated target, and he has a decent chance of full buff dispel on his special. I need to emphasize on this. Buff dispel can be really useful at certain situations. On the screen, you can see the gear sets that I have used for Lotus. The Traveler Merchant set is a nice budget gear set for Lotus since he can consistently upkeep his debuffs. I have the Sprouting Tree gear set for some defense boost. Similar to Charlotte, I will swap to his gear set to the standard debuffer set once I got the necessary pieces, full set of advanced speed set, small magic attack and defense piece from the advanced set. For skill page, I have used the Breath of Darkness since he is technically my team comp's strongest attacker. His AoE attacks combo very well with Charlotte. Since you are dealing damage to all enemies, the chances of you getting to kill multiple targets in one turn is very high. By abusing Mark debuff, Lotus can relentless spam his AoE attacks until all enemies are dead. So how I clear the story content with these 4 mages? The answer is to abuse your powerful assisting mages to carry your weak party at the start of your gameplay. You will find ample of veteran players with strong mages. Do also note that you will get some UR gear pieces upon clearing chapter 3, 4, and 5. Just make use of the assisting mage and you shouldn't have any problem in clearing the content even if your gear sets isn't good enough. For story missions, there are no limit on how many times you can use for assisting. While playing the story content, there are times where you need to use a specific mage, like using Asta for a certain stage. If your SR Asta isn't strong, you can replace him with assisting mage Black Asta. If your Yuno isn't strong, you can replace him with assisting mage Spirit Dive Yuno. As a precaution, I suggest you to check the supporting mage battle power first before using them. Sometimes people have stripped their mages by accident because they have swapped the gear onto another mage. The most useful assisting mage is probably Julius, Mirioliana, Spirit Dive Yuno and Black Asta. I will be showcasing some demo runs on how I do the carry towards the end of the video. There are also a few stages where you need to use Luck, Noelle, Vanessa, and Mars. You can also get the chance to test drive certain mages like Kyoto, Golden Dawn Yuno or members of the Golden Dawn for fun. If you didn't choose Vanessa from the gateway, you might get stuck at early part of chapter 9 where there are few fights that require you to bring Vanessa. That is one of the reasons why I have picked Vanessa from the gateway. My newbie account is now stuck at the infamous Ladros fight where you need to use Mars and a barrier removal unit to defeat him. I am planning to hold my position for now until I get Mars or when I do my pulls for the Festival Mage. Who knows, I might get Mars while chasing for Festival Mages. I can actually use the SSR summon ticket that you get as part of 7 days login mission to get Mars. But I myself preferably want to save the ticket for Re if possible. Clearing the story chapters is the start of the everything. Most importantly, you need to target to setting up your farming stages, which consist of the 4 group of stages that I have shown on the screen. Other than using the assisting mages to clear the story chapters, you can use them to clear them to aid your progress to these standard normal challenge stages for resources to upgrade your mages. But unlike the story chapters, these stages will limit you to use 5 assisting mage per day. So try to clear the highest possible stage that you can before using your assisting mage to assist your team. You might need to upgrade your gear a bit before you start tackling the stage. Even though assisting mage are powerful, once you reach stage 13 and above, you will find that your roster needs to contribute a bit. The key is to strengthen your mages so that they will not get squashed easily, otherwise you will end failing even you are using assisting mages. Let me give a quick overview on what does each stage group covers. Evergreen Forest will allows you to farm Yul and experience potions to level up your mages. Do take note that Yul consumption will increase tremendously once you start to do transcendence on your gear and transcend your mages. Dungeon is the place where you will farm your mages' gear. There are 3 types of dungeon: power, technique, and sense. Each dungeon will drop a certain set of gear. As the most important gear sets for starters are found at the Power Red dungeon, clearing the stages up to stage 15 will be your first priority. City District is the place where you can farm gear upgrade stones. Greater gear upgrade stones can only obtain from stage 13 onwards. You will also get basic tier of enchantment stones to enchant your gear. Similar to the gear dungeon, there are 3 different set of stages. The Ice Cavern is the place where you farm your talents. To tackle endgame PvE content or PvP, you should try to max your mage's talents. For some mages, it is fine that you max certain wheels while skipping others. For example, you can max the support talent wheel but only get the basic talents for attack and defense for SR Finral. The reason why you will want to max a talent wheel is it will help a lot for your mage's combat capabilities, and some of them are useful in certain situations. To know what talents that you need to set, I suggest to check out mage build guides. I also have a comprehensive talent guide on my channel that you can check out if you want to know more about talents. Other than these stages, you can access to Bond Patrol stages, Memory Hall, Hall of Illusions, Advanced Gear Dungeon and Limited Challenges. Those stages will not allow you to abuse assisting mages, so it will really depends on your own roster strength to clear them. So clear these foundation stages first before you go and tackle them. Use the BP requirements as a benchmark to know how strong your party need to get before you attempt to clear the stage. As for limited event like the ongoing Secret Agent event, it is probably to ignore them and focus your progress on building your roster foundations first. When you start new in any gacha game, there are bound to be some time limited rewards that you will miss. Don't be surprised on what I am about to tell you. It is surprising to say that you will find it hard to rank up SR mages compared to SSR mages. The reason is because you need 8 SR mage pieces compared to 4 SSR mage piece. SSR mage piece are surprisingly easier to obtain as you progress through the story. To level my Mimosa and Asta to LR, I need a total of 16 SR mage piece, which 8 SR mage piece for each of them. I have gotten both of them to UR first, followed by having Mimosa upgraded LR and lastly having upgraded Asta to LR. I can get a total of 12 from ranking up the 6-story obtainable SR mage. It is quite fortunate for my account that I gotten Gauche and Charmy from the free tickets polls. You will get a SR mage piece at bond level 2 and bond level 7. To raise bond levels, you need to do bond patrols. Bond patrols will become easier once you have gotten the necessary gearing and battle requirements to tackle the stage. Before I go and cover on bond patrols, let me talk about other SR mages that you should look out for if you manage to get them. There are a few SR champions and they are still being actively used in endgame content. However, I won't advise you to build them at the start since Asta and Mimosa will be pivotal for your starting journey unless you decide to invest in some pulls to get some SSR mages, but by doing so, it could risk your stash on saving for festival mages. You will eventually get them and more SR mages once you started your first pulls. So I would choose put them on a lookout for now. SR champions that you should look out for are SR Finral and Valtos. These two are the speed mobility duo. However, they need max enhancements and a max support talent will to do their role. Maxing a support talent will help them a lot because you can engrave a speed stone to boost their speed. Save your SR versatile mage piece for them. Gifso, to date, this is the only supporter mage that helps to boost attribute weakness damage for your party. Attribute weakness means your unit will do more damage against a weak color type. Gifso will help a lot for PvE raids and the ongoing world boss if you are using a blue attacker. His skill 2 is worth investing since it helps to boost the potencies of his buffs. Nabra, for this, she needs her skill page to work. Her skill page will enable her skill 2 to give buff immunity debuff which prevents a target from buffing. This is very useful to prevent some annoying buffs from bosses. Her combo attack gives the incapacitate debuff which makes her great for PvE raids and world boss events. Charmy, healers are always good. Mimosa will be hampered in the blue dungeon. This is when you can replace her with Charmy and the main reason why I am building her up as third priority mage after Asta. Her special has a guaranteed AoE buff dispel but most of the times, you probably will be using her skill 1 and skill 2 for healing. Teresa, the old hag isn't a useless unit and she will be crucial for cheesing some of the endgame Hall of Illusions where you need burn continuous damage. She also offers decent healing. Vanessa, she will be good for her damage protection buffs. She has a decent chance of dot removal with her skill 2. Her special gives total defense which allows you to block debuffs if your mages have the resolution support talent passives. Speaking of supporters, SR Noelle is also good for her barrier protection. However, you will most probably be using the premium version of her so investing in her could be a lower priority. Personally, I have seen a lot of new players have done wrong in focusing on limited events instead of devoting on the available stamina on building your foundations. Other clearing the normal challenge farming stages, Bond Patrol is one of the key priorities that you need to tackle as well. Once a mage reaches LR status, they gain a substantial boost. This will make them more powerful, so it will be your utmost priorities to rank them up soonest possible. Of course, you also need Mage Piece. SSR Mage Piece can obtain easily by clearing the story chapters. However, you will most probably cannot clear the hard difficulty of these stages without proper gearing. So you will need to alternate between the stages to power up your mages. For Bond Patrol, you cannot use assisting mages to help your party to clear unlike for normal and story challenges. So, what are the key reasons that you should do them? Clearing all the current game's Bond Patrols will get you a total of 375 stars where you can get a total of 75 tickets. To rank up your mages, you need to raise Bond experience points. Gifting Bond food is one way to speed up the Bond levels but they should always be your last resort. Leveling up Bonds beyond Bond level 10 also give black crystals. Other stages will give a bit of Bond experience points but they will be limited. They also give a lot of upgrade resources like wool shards and Bond food from accumulating stars. You can also farm World Shop medals and level your World Shop reputation. Some of the stages drop ingredients for gear food. All Bond missions usually consists of the following 2 criteria: clear stage and have all mages alive. The third will varies from stage to stage, like using one of the class of mages, attacker, defender, supporter, debuffer, or healer. For Worlds 1 and 2, you will need to use one of the following characters: Asta, Magna, and Noelle for nightmare missions. In the video description, there is a PDF guide that contains some general data of the bond patrols, which you check out if you want to know more about the stages. So how to power up your mages? In the game, gear will account for more than 80% of your mage's combat capabilities. With good gearing, you can also make our units usable with strong gear. Someone has cleared stage 15 of the red gear dungeon with Seki before. As gear is a fundamental part to your mage's power, bulk of your daily stamina should be used and focus on farming the dungeon. If you choose not to work on gear, you will most likely get stuck in chapter 3 when you are fighting raids from the Midnight Sun. I have given the gear sets that you should target for the 4 key mages that I have used for this account. On the screen, you can see how I transits my Charlotte's gear as I progress through the story. At the start, you most probably won't have any ideal gear pieces, so just use the strongest available gear that you can find will do. Make sure you mix them until you get gear synergy bonus. To get synergy bonus, all gear pieces doesn't need to be the same grade. I have unlocked the power gear dungeon stage 15 before I started to tackle chapter 4. That is when I get access to the advanced gear pieces. You can identify advanced gear pieces when their gear icon has a star mark. From chapter 9 onwards, I start to target to get those pieces and I slowly switch them over. Advanced gear pieces give better general set bonuses. If you want to speed up the process, you can use the LR gear selection chest to get the pieces you need. I myself choose not to use them as I am saving them for the festival mages. For upgrade stones, do not use on any R, SR, or even SSR grade gear. UR gear is fine, but don't go all the way to max enhancements +8 unless the gear piece is an advanced gear piece or you need the upgrade to clear content. Do take note that gear upgrade stone supply is rare when you start of the game. I did cleared the advanced gear dungeon stage 15 by the start of day 2 of my newbie account. The reason why you need to unlock the power gear dungeon as soon as possible is because it contains the most fundamental gear sets that you will ever need to use on mages. The advanced speed set or the secret of deep sea will help boost your mage's speed. The advanced defense set or the great merchant set will help to boost your mage's defense. The advanced attack set or ominous gear set will help to boost your mage's attack. This is how I did it clear within day 2 of my account. I use my own setup to clear up until stage 5. I use an assisting mage, preferably Julius, to clear stage 6 to 10 for 5 times on day 1. Once the daily resets start, I do another assisting mage run till I have cleared until the last stage on day 2. You can repeat the same process for other 2 dungeons. But I will suggest you to prioritize on completing other dungeons first. Getting the gear is no doubt important, but having them with at base won't help your mages a lot until you upgrade them. Once the red gear power dungeon stage 15 is done, I focus on clearing the evergreen forest, which I did on day 3 and day 4 of playing my newbie account. Yul and experience potions is important to level up your mages. Do take note, once your mage get to LR grade, they will get significant boost to their stats. To save experience potions for your roster, I would suggest you to let your mages level up naturally via clearing stages once you have upgraded the mage to LR, which is level 80. You can do one of them for the sake of completing the mage path though, which for my case, I have chosen Lotus. Over time, you will amass a huge amount of Yul. But don't get too conceited. Yul consumption will increase tremendously when you reach the endgame upgrade in form of Gear Transcendence, level 125 Transcendence, and reroll your Transcended Gear substats. Make sure you do your hunt of the Monarch Wolf and King Wolf daily. Once the Red Gear Power Dungeon Stage 15 and Evergreen Forest Stage 15 are done, it is time to focus on the City District to farm upgrade materials to level up your gear. To upgrade a gear, you need to use upgrade stones. To upgrade a gear to level 4, you need to use lesser gear upgrade stone. To upgrade a gear to level 8, you need to use gear upgrade stone, and lastly, to upgrade a gear to level 12, you need to use greater gear upgrade stone. To transcend a gear, the gear needs to be upgraded to LR plus 12 and you need 2 copies of the same gear piece. For level 1 Transcendence, you need a copy of gear plus 100k Yul. For level 2 Transcendence, 2 copies of gear plus 200k Yul. For level 3 Transcendence, 3 copies of gear plus 300k Yul. For level 4 Transcendence, 4 copies of gear plus 400k Yul. The higher the upgrade requirements, the lower the chances of success you have. Even though upgrading a gear from level 8 to 12 is only 4 levels. Don't be surprised you can end up using like 32 greater upgrade stones to bring your gear to LR plus 12 if RNG don't go your way. Thus farming for these resources are important. I usually do the farming when I call the end of the day for my account. For your information, I am still doing this even for my main and F2P account. It is also worth noting that the stages have higher battle power requirements compared to the gear dungeon stages. So it is important to get your party decent gear before you start to do your runs with assisting mages for the higher difficulty stages. If you go and attempt the stages unprepared, your mages will get one-shotted, thus failing the carry run. With this, I have come to the end of part 1 of the guide. In part 2, I will be covering on some daily routine, tips on how to clear 7-day missions and the ongoing bingo board for a new player. Hopefully, you have enjoyed the guide. I will be showcasing some runs that I have done with my newbie account so you can have a sensing on how it is being done.
You can count on me to protect everyone! That's the strength of our bond! You can count on me to protect everyone! That's the strength of our bond!
Remember what you witnessed.
You can count on me to protect everyone!
Pathetic. For a fight like this? Insulting.
His dreams are mine as well! You're here! Good! Great job out there! You're here! Good! Great job out there! I've got 3 daughters, you know.
Is it?
Tell me, little girl.
You can count on me to protect everyone! That's the strength of our bond! You can count on me to protect everyone! That's the strength of our bond! You can count on me to protect everyone! strength of our bond! You can count on me to protect everyone! Take this! That's the strength of our bond! You can count on me to protect everyone! That's the strength of our bond! You can count on me to protect everyone!
Come forth, Alfred! Take this!
That's the strength of our bond!
Number one, Carl! Did I burn too bright?
You can count on me to protect everyone! That's the strength of our bond! You can count on me to protect everyone! That's the strength of our bond! You can count on me to protect everyone!
Let's go, Belle!
Of course!
Compared to my rivalry with Asta, this'll be nothing.
How old do you think I look?
Like I said, this was nothing compared to Asta.
Come on now, open that stubborn mouth of yours.
Special magic again, eh?
You can count on me to protect everyone!
Can I dissect you?
That's the strength of our bond!
What kind of magic will I see today? Where am I? Don't flatter yourself. You're no match for me.
You can count on me to protect everyone! That's the strength of our bond! You can count on me to protect everyone!
Can I dissect you?
That's the strength of our bond!
Time.
Whoever they are. I ask only...
Horse hunting!